Welcome back to Where Pompey Walk, 20 minutes of Pompey Chat, and I can't believe that we're going into this debate, but some Pompey fans say it should be the end of Bishop, and can we please give Waddington a start instead? We'll get these fans' views on that. Is it time to talk about Bishop? Plus, we're talking about new faces and centre-back pairings, and that result, of course, against Burnley. We're looking at our February fixtures, awarding some January awards, and completing our worst ever Pompey 11. Welcome back. We've got our full team back with us. Fresh, but watching probably the dullest game of football they've ever seen against the worst, dullest side in the league against Burnley. So thank you for waking up and joining us. Please drop us a subscribe if you haven't yet done so. 20 minutes of Pompey Chat. Right then, Phil, let's go back to that tweet that we saw before. How do you react to when you see fans writing things like, "This is the end of Bishop, please can we give Waddington a start"?
To be honest, it's too predictable. It's poor. So I saw a really great tweet earlier on, actually. So in the first 13 games of this season, we had collected 8 points. The next 13 games, when Bishop comes back, we had 21 points. That's, I think, all we need to say on the debate. Case closed. I'm sorry. I playing devil's advocate. I do understand where some of the criticism comes from the point of view that he's not the most mobile striker, so he's not going to go running the channels and taking on defenders with pace. But I mean, his record speaks for itself for me. So yeah, I think it's disrespectful, to be honest.
Okay. Now, before we get accused of being sensationalist and pulling out one tweet that just said that, here's another one. Joe says it's a good point, just so much better with proper defenders. But when can we start to question Bishop's finishing in important moments? He had a great chance midweek and then again today. He's a great player for us, but he's got to start taking these chances when they come. And I think, Sam, in the top there, that this is where this is coming from. Is that unfair for fans to start questioning? I mean, his all-round game is great, isn't it? But is his finishing lacking?
I don't. Well, to be honest, he did have that chance at the end, and it was a difficult chance. I think the ball was bobbling there on our little narrow pitch that we have. But, I mean, I don't. We as Pompey fans appreciate work ethic and hard work, and if he can just do that game in, game out, that works for us. Yeah, he pops up with the goal every now and again, but we appreciate the hard work and the effort that he puts in. And I mean, give him a break. He just had open heart surgery in July, so it's the criticism that he got was just. I was going through my Twitter feed after the game yesterday. I was like, we got bigger problems than just slandering Bishop, and he just seems to be the scapegoat right now.
Okay. One more, I promise. Sasha, Jim Bob says, Bishop is an all-round player, but an awful finisher, and we really need a striker that's there for the right moments and more productive. Personally, I would put him as a second striker behind a number 9. Respond to that, Sasha.
I think for a lone striker like Bishop, it's really easy to pinpoint little mistakes that he makes. 1 or 2 mistakes, you can point them out and then ignore the other 90 minutes in a match. He's a really good player for us. He puts in a lot of effort. And like Phil mentioned earlier, we are a much better side and we will be a lot worse off in the table without Bishop in this squad. I do think moments like yesterday, right at the end, maybe he should have done better, but any player could have missed that. It's just as easy to miss. I don't think we should blame him for that. I do kind of agree with possibly playing him as like a false 9, or if we're playing 2 strikers, have him slightly behind, because I think his hold-up play is brilliant, and he can lay it off to maybe Waddingham, a little bit of a quicker player, but he shouldn't be dropped, not at all. He shouldn't even be criticised.
Okay. Cheers for that, Sasha. Jake, we've talked about refereeing decisions a lot. Not in your favour this season, but should we just talk about this one? Do you think you got away with this one?
Good save. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it came off his leg and ricocheted up, but
Really?
yeah, no, let's be honest. If that was a Burnley player, I'd be fuming. So yeah, we got away with one there.
Okay. What's your overall assessment of how you did against Burnley, Jake?
Yeah, as you said earlier, just waking up. They've obviously had 8 clean sheets in a row, but I think that's probably because James Trafford has the ball for 89 minutes of the 90. They were boring to watch. I'd almost rather watch that Stoke game where we got battered again than watch that 0-0. But before the game, I'd have taken a point, so I'm not completely disappointed.
Okay, let's talk about the centre-back pairings then, Sam. Lots of comments on this. Andrew says the difference when you have 2 actual centre-backs. What a difference, too, to have the king back in the back line. Shaughnessy, such a huge miss. It could be a season decider. Getting a bit carried away there, isn't he, or not?
I don't know. I think I was surprised, to be fair, when I saw him in the lineup, because I think Moutinho came out in the week and said something like he was not ready to start, but that's his casual bluff, I guess. But he did really well. We had a lot more structure as a team, so I can see us doing a lot better, obviously, with him in the back line. And just hope we all stay, the whole team stays fit, because the injury problems we've had this season is just not good.
Okay. Do drop us a subscribe. We review every single Pompey game throughout the season, so therefore I'm afraid we need to talk about Millwall as well, briefly. Phil, do you want to go there for us?
Do I have to? Yeah. It was one of those games where we huffed and puffed. You could just tell it wasn't going to be our night, and we could have played for 200 minutes or whatever, and we wouldn't have scored probably. Millwall, we've talked a lot about teams coming to Fratton Park and playing out the back. Millwall showed how to play against us at Fratton Park. It was as simple as that. They weren't interested in playing out the back. Their defence was absolutely solid, and we just kept on trying the same things, and it just didn't keep working, unfortunately. So yeah, it was disappointing, but yeah, these games happen. So
cheers for that, Phil. Then Sam, let's move on then and talk about other news. Then some new faces around the site since we last spoke to you 7 days ago. Let's have a look at some of them. Yeah, you can pronounce this one. What do you think of Adil?
We'll just call him Adil. I actually saw a tweet though that Jake put out. Was it players with more than 7 syllables in their last name or something like that? I think John Quincy Abreu is probably going to beat that one.
Okay,
but
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're making some signings, and they actually look like decent players as well. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to see how they gel with the team, and I actually think that we kind of maybe have some depth now as a squad. So,
okay, who can tell us about Adil then? What do we know about him? Anyone?
I have a few friends that are Sunderland fans, and they've only said good things about Adil. They said if it wasn't for Chris Rigg, then he'd be starting. They said he's a really good player, really explosive, creative, and he should be starting for them. So I think that in itself shows that we've got a really good player on our hands for the end of the season.
Cheers for that. Let's do one more then. Jake, we can pronounce this one. Cohen Bramall, what's your thoughts on this signing?
Yeah, so I've seen the mixed reaction on Twitter, but I'm very much give the lad a chance. You know, sometimes someone will come to the club and they don't perform elsewhere, but it just works for them somewhere. So yeah, from what I've seen, he's got a lot of pace, likes to get up and down and get some crosses in. I think that's what we need. So yeah, certainly not writing him off and wishing him all the best.
Okay, all right. We're recording this one day before the window. Sam, any more rumours, any more news that we should discuss?
I haven't actually seen much really over the last 24 hours. I think we were linked with a youngster from, was it Blackburn or something like that? Another championship side. But I think that's all nonsense. So I'd just like to see another winger personally, because I still think that's where we're quite short. But I've heard that Adil's more of a 10 as well. So I think if we can get another winger in, then I think we'll be sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then. Thank you very much. We're into February now as well, so let's have a quick look at what's happening for Pompey this month. You could say it's a massive month once we get Sheffield United out of the way with Phil, wouldn't we? 2 games there: Cardiff, and Oxford, and we spoke to Cardiff fans earlier who are just going to play the B team at Stoke in their FA Cup game this weekend because, like you guys did at West Brom, they are going to focus on you on the Tuesday night. Do you think he's going to do something daft like he did at West Brom against Sheffield United?
You know what? If he rotates the squad, then so be it. Again, we spoke about how players have to step up and perform when they come in, but that's why you have a squad. But I just want to go out and I hope and pray that we go out and put in a performance instead of just chucking every away game. That's all I want to see. If we get beat, we get beat. That doesn't bother me, but just at least turn up and put in a performance. That's a starting point at least.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Phil. Sam, Hull went to Sheffield United last week and beat them 3-0, so surely you can have a go, can't you?
Yeah, surely there's hope. I mean, but again, given our recent away form, I'm not sure, to be honest, and we'll see. The Millwall tactic didn't work out, right? So I don't know. Hopefully that makes him rethink what he's going to do with the squad. And then we have Oxford away as well, which looks like it should be an easy game to win, right? Like we should be going there to look to win. Sheffield United, all right, granted, yeah, we'll be lucky if we get a draw, but Oxford, we should be going there to win.
Sasha, I mean, we spoke last time about the pressure, what it does to players when you put all your eggs in one basket, and of course it didn't come home to roost against Millwall. Do you suspect anything like that's going to happen again? Because you travelled all that way to the Hawthorns to watch them get obliterated, and here you are, probably, I'm guessing, going to be travelling all the way up to Yorkshire on Saturday again, aren't you?
Yeah, but we've learnt from ourselves and the other teams in the Championship that anyone really can beat anyone in this league. We didn't expect to beat clubs like Middlesbrough at home, beat Swansea 4-0 at home. Anything could really happen. And just like Hull at Sheffield the other week, there's no reason we can't go there and get something. Obviously, we don't expect to, because that's a lot to ask for at a club like Sheffield United. But as long as we put a good performance in, 11 men behind the ball, we can pick up a solid point there.
And then QPR to finish the month off. Jake, how many points out of 12 do you expect then out of these four quite mixed fixtures?
I'm going to say 9. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to say we're going to beat Oxford, we'll beat QPR, and we'll beat Cardiff, and then we'll get absolutely battered against Sheffield United. That's my prediction.
Cardiff, Sam, have just had a 7-0 drubbing off Leeds, and the first worry coming out of that is about the goal difference. I mean, are you at the point now where you're saying, well, I don't mind these losses as long as it is these other teams, as long as it is, we just keep the score down to 1-0, 2-0s?
Yeah, we are getting to that point a bit, only because the performances like home and away are obviously so different, and then away sometimes we do put in a really gritty performance like we've seen, whereas Middlesbrough, like Leeds and stuff like that. Then you've got other games like the Stoke and the West Brom game where it's literally like they haven't shown up at all. So in cases like that, if you're not playing well, at least try and keep the goal difference down if you're going for anything.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, you lot. It's also January's over now, so we need our January Player of the Month, or our January Unsung Player of the Month, as we do. So we're trying not to just copy what the club are putting out. Who needs their flowers that hasn't fairly got them? One name from each of you, with some brevity, if that's okay. Phil?
If you're going for unsung hero, I'd have to say probably Conor Ogilvie, Mr. Dependent. I'll be honest, I think Conor struggled the first part of the season to adapt to the Championship, but actually he is what he was for us last year, Mr. Dependable, solid performance week in, week out. I'm maybe been a bit harsh on him, actually. I think he's been played some really good games and seems to have stepped up to the level now. So yeah, fair play to Conor Ogilvie.
For me, it's a toss-up between Potts and Dozal. Probably go Potts. He's been decent this month. Played some good passes in the midfield, and yeah, I'll go Potts.
Okay, Sasha?
I'm going to go for Jordan Williams. He's injured now, but I thought when he did play, he played really well. I actually thought He was, I can't remember which game it was, but he dropped what I thought was an actual 10 out of 10 performance, and you don't see that often from our back line this season. So just for that alone, giving it to Jordan Williams.
Bro, Jake?
Yeah, I'll go Ogilvy as well as Phil. I just think he's been brilliant for the last few games since the turn of the year. Proved a lot of doubters wrong as well. So, yeah, he's got my vote.
Okay. And finally, Sam?
I'd go Matt Ritchie. I think especially that Middlesbrough game, he highlighted how big he is for us. The experience and just how steady he is on that right-hand side. I think he was one of the players that stood out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of older players doing it in the Championship this year. Callum Patterson for Sheffield Wednesday is having a renaissance as well. Right, finally then, we're into the bit where you can help us out by putting these answers into the comments. We're asking you as a Portsmouth fan, who's the worst ever midfielder you've seen play for the club? We've been doing this now for 3 weeks. We're putting together the worst ever Portsmouth side. So one name off each of you, if that's okay. That should get us nicely across the middle of the park. Let's go backwards down the line. Shall we start with the youth? Sam, M.
Top up between Bryn Morris and Sean Williams. They were both pretty hard to watch at times, but I think I'll have to go Sean Williams because watching him trying, it was like his legs were gone, so I'll give him that. But yeah, in a Pompey shirt, he just didn't cut it at all.
He made Marlon Pack look like Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
It was incredible. He was unbelievable. I remember when we signed him, I thought, great, he was the captain of Millwall, bit of experience. And then,
played at centre back as well for a bit, and that was even worse to watch.
Cheers for that, Sam. Jake, give us yours.
I'm going to go Laurent Robert. We signed him, and massive reputation. Scored an amazing goal at West Brom away. And then after that, he just did not seem bothered. If he was playing in my garden, I'd shut the curtains. He was that bad.
Yeah, forget that you've had Laurent Robert. Gosh, that is mad to you. Sasha?
The two that I've got down, Bryn Morris and Sean Williams as well. I remember Sean Williams, he missed a penalty against Doncaster away, and after that I was done with him, and that was only like the fourth game of the season.
Okay, cheers. Sam?
I'm going to go Jermaine Pennant. 14 appearances, 0 goals, 0 assists. So, terrible.
Yeah. He scored more in prison, didn't he, than he did for you, Phil?
I wasn't going to go there, but you.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Phil?
The ones I had have been covered, but there's one I remembered just because the game was actually on Sky, and it's Nick Orford. He was a classic example of how someone's become a footballer, and then you remember it, his dad was the manager at the time. It was I'd like to say I hate to slag off players, but he just looked so far off being a player. It was unbelievable, and he didn't make it. So yeah.
Right. Brill. Some great shouts in there. Next week we'll look at the whole side we put together, pick a captain from it, and also put the worst ever Portsmouth manager of all time in there as well, just to finish this off once and for all. Join us for that. Also, it's Valentine's week next week, so we're asking this lot to tell us about their love stories with Portsmouth. When did they fall in love with the club, and how did they end up falling in love with the club? Whose fault was it? So I'll get their views on that next week. Join us for that. And we'll see you the other side of the Sheffield United result. Let's hope it's not an absolute hammering. See you then for that. Have a good week.